Morning everyone. I don't think you'll see this on this camera, but there's a boat about 2 kilometers out. I'm standing up on the hill where we normally stand last year, above the hot springs in Kempson. There's a small Frontex boat with it. They've taken some people off the dinghy, but there's still some people left on the dinghy. So we've messaged our boat. I think it's coming out from Skylar, our rescue boat. Maybe he can take the rest of the people off the dinghy. We're still getting boats in. We had one the other day and it came in. We had a few problems with this one. I spoke to volunteers yesterday. I took a lot of abuse for it because I didn't know which hotel it was in, but I had 2 days of abuse from people from all over, and every time I opened up these people's Facebook accounts, it's the same connection was there. And you know, with the, you know, I was trying to protect the refugees because of the abuses we've had in the car park in Mollyvoss on the other week, where the tourists photographed everyone and writ some statements. Basically, this is being hushed up, and a certain person's made a complaint to the municipality of the island, and basically saying that the guy that wrote the complaint, he said it was the former mayor, he was told, and this person's kicked up stink and everything else and said this shouldn't be said and everything else, so that obviously the statement's a lie and everything else. I mean, this is wrong in itself. You know, the abuses quite obviously happened. There was 2 people, 2 statements. The people were very shocked. We shouldn't be making excuses for these thugs. There was photographs of these thugs. This should be dealt with properly, and these people should be taken into account. There are laws in Greece and everything else, and this town in particular has screamed and shouted about the lack of tourism more than most. And for the last year, there's been time and time again these same people turning up threatening tourists for helping refugees. You know, this time there was a child that needed water, and there was a few people that were sick, and some tourists with big hearts came and they tried to help, and they were abused, and the police were abused down there as well. They said the tourists said the police done a fantastic job. But now the focus is these people lied because in their statement they said it was the former mayor, and they want this guy to retract his statement and everything else. This is the wrong way of dealing with it. To deal with it, we should first apologise to the 2 groups of tourists that were involved, and invite them back to Lesbos, you know, really say this should never happen and everything else. And then what we should do is confront the situation and stop these thugs doing the damage to the tourists that come to Mollyvoss. Last year, a lot of our regulars had the same, tourists had the same. They would never come back to the island again. I put videos on where the tourists have spoke themselves and said they've been abused in the town. Yeah. Now, instead of trying to blame it onto the tourists that wrote the statement and took the photographs of these people, we should confront the issue and stop these people threatening bloody tourists. You know, this is bloody wrong. It's absolutely wrong. I think it's disgusting more than anything. You know, making excuses and everything else and trying to cover this situation up is wrong. You know, and when we have volunteers that are worried, we have one group of volunteers with a rescue boat that pulled out of Mollyvoss because of the threats and everything else, and said it is too dangerous to work in Mollyvoss because of the threats. This is wrong. You know, this issue here should be confronted full on. Yeah, these people should be confronted full on. You know, the mayor of the island should come in here and demand that this problem be sorted. For the sake of the tourism on the whole island, because what's happening in this town is ruining the tourism on the whole island, and the abuses I'm getting because they're trying to distract away and blame it onto everyone else other than these thugs that are doing the abuses. We know who these people are now. The names of these people have come out now. Now bloody well deal with it. Yeah. Anywhere else, and if any of these people down there, they should be, if they're in a government position, they should be made to resign, or they should be bloody sacked. because they shouldn't be in that position where they are threatening tourists. This is what's damaging Molivos. Not my bloody family. Not the volunteers, not the NGOs that are saving thousands of lives here. Last night I went to Sycamania and I spoke to volunteers that were on the boat the other day. Yeah? And it was wrong what went on there. Yeah? And they said that where this boat came in, I didn't know which hotel it was, but I've been accused that I'm lying and everything else. I did not know which hotel this was. Personally, I thought it was a hotel I did get a lot of abuse from. Yeah, and I've been accused, and I've asked these people to stop it, and they're still going at me. They're not going at these people, these thugs that are assaulting tourists, especially a 15-year-old girl was pushed down there, yeah, and telling tourists to get off the island. They're not having a go at them. No, they're having a go at us because we're trying to save people's lives and trying to protect people. Yeah, and when we ask people to go down there and be protected, because we've seen what goes on, I've seen it with my own eyes time and time again, and a lot of complaints have gone on over the last year, and these these refugees need protecting when they come anywhere near this town. This town is forcing the Coast Guard and everyone else to put everyone into Scala Sycamenia. This is wrong. Yeah, we have two great ports here. Okay, the port of Molivos shouldn't be used at the moment because we have tourists, but the port of Petra is outside the town. That's a fantastic port and a very safe port for the Coast Guard to bring people in. Now what they have to do is transfer people out of their boat into a small boat to bring them into Scala Sycamenia. And Scala Sycamenia has to deal with all these problems. And this is bloody wrong, because Molivos will not deal with these problems. They do not want refugees. Yeah? One of these people that were photographed, his idea was to drown 200 people out here so they don't come to Molivos. And I've heard this same statement the other day again. You know, we have to make these people suffer in Molivos and they never come here again. This is meant to be the town of the island of solidarity. Yeah? And the damage being done in this town and the people in this town that are bloody protecting these people is wrong. If you want to turn this town round, you stop protecting these people and you start dealing with this problem. Yeah? And the first thing we need to do is apologise to the tourists that took the photographs and were abused in this town. Yeah? Not have a go at them because they made a mistake. They didn't make a mistake. They were told by one of these thugs he was the former mayor. He wasn't. He was the former deputy mayor. Yeah? But it's not the tourist's fault. Yeah? So to have a go at the municipality of the island and say, you know, all this needs to be stopped and this shouldn't be shared. Of course it should be shared because we have to stop this. And of course these things should come out because we have to stop it. This has got worse and worse and worse because everyone has covered it up. And some of the really bad things we haven't said nothing about. We've covered it up because we need the tourists. I have a business, I have to run my business. But now enough is enough and this has to be stopped. Yeah? The tourist season is coming to an end and this has to be sorted. And when the tourist season starts next year in Molivos, and hopefully we have changed this town right the way around to becoming part of the island of solidarity. Yeah? This island's being known all around the world now, and Molivos is being known all around the world now for a different reason. And this is wrong. The people of this town has to sort this problem out in the town. Huh? Right, sorry about that everyone. I'm really pissed about this because I've had 2 days of abuse from a certain person in a hotel and I did not deserve it. Huh? My family helps refugees. And when I spoke to some volunteers over there, this person having a go at me, they said that this woman was abusing them. Yeah? 3 different volunteers on 3 separate occasions I spoke to last night, and they all said exactly the same. They said she calmed down later. And they said the owner of the hotel, who they thought the gentleman of the owner was very nice and very polite to them all. But the woman was very abusive. And this woman has been trying to turn everything round here, and it has to stop. You have to confront the problems. And you have to deal with the people that are wrecking the tourism within Molivos. Deal with it. Yeah? Right, the helicopter's gone back over there. The one boat has moved away, taking the refugees into Sycamenia. This is crazy. You know, Molivos is just here, Petra's just round the corner, and they've got to go all the way down to Sycamenia. We're in Eftelu here. Yeah? And then there's still people on the dinghy. They've got to come out and try and rescue them. Yeah? I think one of our rescue boats is out there rescuing them now as well. But this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. When people are too frightened to take refugees into a town. Petra port is quite a nice port. Yeah? And not only that, the people helping the refugees later, when they've got them on the bus in the port, they will go into Petra and they will eat. Yeah? And you will have people in the winters in hotels and that in Petra. Yeah? So why are the abuses and why are you stopping all this? You know, everyone's trying to help here, and we have this group of thugs that are just constantly causing problems down here, and this is wrong, absolutely wrong. Yeah, this has to stop. Okay, everyone, sorry about that, but I've had enough of these people. Absolutely, this has been going on for a year. I've seen the abuses. It's recorded time and time again. Different events going on, from stopping people, from NGOs leaving because of trouble, from cars getting wrecked, from vans getting wrecked in the town car park and everything else. And all this town can do now is have a go at the municipality and tell them to shut up, publicising that these tourists were abused. These tourists should be apologised to, and they should be brought to this town as guests of the town next year. And it's guests of the town, and we should feed them and really apologise to them. Yeah, and these tourists have been here before, and they love the town, and they were shocked. They said this is meant to be a town of culture, not of hate. Huh? Okay. This incident looks like it's going. What it is now, we've got the Frontex small boat out there. You won't be able to see it. You know, it's a bit misty today. It's not that far out. I would say about 1.5 kilometres from me. He's taken the first lot of refugees into Scala Sicamina, and we have another boat being towed. The boat where they came in on being towed. I have to get my binoculars, but I think it's. Hang on, I'll ask Philippa. She's here. The boat, the rescue boat from Scala. What is it? It's Makara.
Refugee Rescue.
That's right. It's Refugee Rescue from there, coming out of Scala Sicamina.
They're towing the refugee boat.
Yeah, I think they got the last people off the refugee boat, and yeah, they are. They're towing the boat out there, so it's not left out there floating about. They're towing it back to Scala. Right, I mean the situation now, this could heat up quite easy in the next few weeks. You know, we have to try and deal with it. We have to try and I don't know how we're working here, because the hate against my family, which is coming from certain people in this town, is very, very wrong and very disgusting. You know, the threats and everything we're getting. I don't know what we're going to do. We would stay and see this next wave, but we know we can't live in this town with this hate towards human beings, and we know we can't live in this town with the hate towards us. You know, we've had to change our accountant, then we couldn't get an accountant in the town because they've stopped us doing that. They're trying to get us kicked out of our property. We're getting abused constantly. They're doing everything to shut us down any way they can. They want me to destroy all my videos. They want me to destroy every single bit of evidence I have. This is not going to happen. You know, most of the stuff is in Dropbox now, and a lot of stuff is in London. You know, so this will not happen at all, believe me. I don't know what we're going to do, but we know we have to wait for this next lot, because if there's no one here in this town and the abuses kick off in this town does not stop it, believe me, this town is completely finished. Yeah, they have to stop what's going on in this town, and us being here still, and we can watch out and we can see things and everything else, it's keeping it down a bit. But it's for the people of the town to stop the abuses, and people of this town especially stop the abuses against tourists, because that really has to stop. Tourists come here with big hearts, and the people we have here have big hearts because they're artists, they're cultural people, yeah, and they have big hearts, and when they see suffering children who want a bottle of water, they go and give it to them. They don't expect to be abused, pushed, and especially a 15-year-old girl being abused. The person that pushed that 15-year-old girl should be prosecuted, yeah. And the whole town should be up there screaming that he's prosecuted. And everyone else in the car park at the time, and everyone else that has been out on these gangs where we have videos, should be questioned. And it should come out, and they should be asked why are they destroying these towns. Yeah? And they should be shamed by the good people of these towns. Yeah? Not hidden, not hidden, and not let carry on getting worse and worse. Yeah? You know, there's a lot of mistakes happened here last year by the leaders of this town in particular. Now these people are still here, and they're backing all this, and that is wrong. This is a tourist town. Yeah? Something really drastic has to happen if they want to keep their tourism and the businesses in this town, because you will have no business in a couple of years. Maybe you have no business next year. And to blame it on me because I'm bringing it out in the open is wrong, when you have people in the town beating up, pushing tourists, abusing tourists and everything else. and you blame me for it because I make a video of it. You should be up there making sure these people get arrested and dealt with by the courts. There are laws in Greece. Deal with it. Bye everyone.